My anxiety, my angst, and this is the problem of a lot of contemporary artists. I'm an image maker. I make images by hand. This is very important to me because I think images really transcend verbal language. They're immediate and they use symbols, and we can share symbols. So we'll have a look at a few paintings, and I can explain to you some of my reasoning behind using these symbols. But ultimately, I think symbols are interchangeable. They're never fixed. The images might stay the same, but every culture interprets symbols in different ways. So this figure, I found him on Instagram. I get images from everywhere. I don't care where they're from, but they have to be an image which resonates with what I'm doing. And this naked figure was being hit by the light, but I wanted this light to be a light of illumination, of inner illumination. So lastly, with this painting, just to highlight, I have this idea which I call the Eurasian mode of painting. So I use an Eastern idea of perspective, where all of the lines are parallel, not the Western idea of one-point perspective. So I want to use this perspective which has a flatness, and it's a hybrid form, so I also use shadow, which is a European invention, shadow in painting. So I put these two things together, oblique perspective and shadow. So cendoré in French is golden stage. And this is one of my main motifs, is to use the idea of the theatrical stage. And this is a place, a repository for memory images. Cendoré, golden stage, is the golden sunlight coming from our nearest star, our sun. And I've painted all the stars above to suggest all the other suns far away. And I want to draw an analogy with constellations of reference points, that with our thinking, with the internet and everything, we can leap from reference to reference and build further ideas on this type of logic. And so the most important thing for me is to evoke a sense of the transcultural. And this is what I was talking about symbols at the beginning, that symbols are not fixed entities, but that I think as cultures in a globalized society, we have to share symbols, and those meanings are constantly shifting. So I feel very free to be able to reuse and appropriate these symbols from the past and cast new meanings onto them. And so just lastly, taking the turtle and the crane, this is a Buddhist symbolism. The turtle symbolizes going to the deepest depths of the ocean, and the crane is going to the highest heavens. And so the theater itself is a depiction of a lower world and the upper world and the middle world where we exist. So this series of paintings is made after I made a trip to Huangshan and Sanqingshan and Longhushan in China 10 years ago. And my fascination with Sung Dynasty painting is really to do with drawing an analogy with my feeling for a type of space which is today. Talking about a type of space, so I think the old model of space is perspective, the limiting idea, the reductive idea. Today we have a million viewpoints through, everyone has a voice now. I wanted to find a pictorial structure which could take into account multiple focal points. Not old feeling, but I think timeless is a better word, because all of us, we're using processed foods because they're easier. It's very much like a diet. And I think, so I came to a point where the paint I can buy in the shop is very homogeneous and predictable in how it behaves. So I needed to explore, how can I get a paint which gives voice to the speed I want to work at? And so preparing the paint, which is hard work, I have to make the paint every day. In fact, it has a very beneficial effect on slowing me down. So I'm not thinking about, what do I want to paint? My anxiety, my angst, and this is the problem of a lot of contemporary artists. They're very busy with their personal angst, but I don't have time for that because I'm busy making the paint. And then I paint, and it's simple. It's a process.